besties! Here is another My Froggy Stuff MashUp. And I said another, but this is like our first one in 2020. But that's okay, because this is a very special one. Because it's the holidays! And we have put together many of our winter and holiday favorites from last year in one place. From a winter wonderland to PJs, we've got you covered. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Today, I am going to make a room that can fold up for easy storage. Using a large white trifold, lots of scrapbook paper, a printable from our blog, myfroggystuff.blogspot.com, balsa wood, I think that's how you say it, I found it in the woodworking section at the craft store, lots of glue, and clear plastic from packaging. I start by taking the trifold, flip it over to the back, use a ruler to find the center, draw a line at that center point. I went up 18 inches. Make a mark at 14 inches on the sides, draw a line connecting the top of the center to the side, cut on the line drawn just along the top to separate it, giving us a basic house shape. When we turn it around and open it up, we will have the inside of our room. Let's lay it down and draw a few details. I'm gonna draw on the back because I already have that center line, where I can draw a large rectangle that goes all the way to the top. Draw a 3-inch window on the side. Repeat so everything is symmetrical. Open the trifold and stretch out one of the sides and draw a door. My door is 13 inches tall and 4 inches wide. But I need to add a small line at the bottom. That was too large. Let's make it smaller. So we'll have a small place for the door to lock into, so it stays in place. Cut out the door and windows. I hang on to the door cutout. We will need that later. Take leftover cardboard from the trifold and draw a rectangle to match the rectangle we drew in the center of the room, and I added 3/4 of an inch on each side. Cut on the outer edge, trace the top of the room, score the lines on the sides that are 3/4 of an inch so we can bend them. On the back wall, cut along the top roof, but keep the sides straight. This is going to allow our wall to pop out just a little and add some dimension. Now that I think about it, this is going to create a little bevel that I don't want. So I cut them off completely and I'll glue them right onto the edge. But before I do that, I trace the centerpiece onto leftover cardboard and cut out 2 more that we will use later. Glue the strips onto the sides and cover it with paper. I'm using a printable from my blog. Carefully wrap it around the edges to make an architectural detail that will go on the outside of the room. But before we glue that into place, use a wood grain scrapbook paper and cover the entire structure, starting with the outside first. Wrapping the paper over all of the raw edges. To get around the edges that bend, close the trifold, then glue the paper over the edge. I trimmed off the excess, then give it some time to dry before opening it up. When you do open it, you want to make sure the paper goes into the crevice when the trifold is laying flat. Fold over the extra paper and glue it on the other side. I didn't worry about covering all of this area because remember, we made this to cover it up. But it's not time to glue this on just yet. Turn the trifold around to the other side, cut the wood grain paper into strips, glue the strips onto the trifold, leaving a little space between each row to look like the inside of a log cabin. Cut clear plastic from packaging, glue it over the cutouts for the windows, cut the balsa wood to go around the windows. This wood is pretty soft. I can cut it with an X-Acto knife. All I do is score it going around all of the sides, then add a little pressure on the last side, and it's done. Use hot glue to attach it. Cut a leftover piece to fit right across the middle. Take the cutout from the door, trim it down just a little, cover with scrapbook paper, unfold a paper clip, cut it in half, push the cut paper clips into the corners of the door, push the other end of the paper clip into the frame of the door, cut and glue wood all the way around it. This will add strength to the door frame, especially across the bottom end. Flip it over and add wood to the other side, so it looks finished on the inside and out. Now let's glue the stone wall in place. However, I'm not loving this color. I want something a little more gray. So I changed the saturation of my printable and recovered it. Glue it directly to the outside wall to look like the back of a fireplace. Trim the top edge with more of the wood to give the illusion of a roof. And since I avoided putting wood in the corners, the whole thing can still fold up for easy storage. I found this battery-operated lantern at Five Below. It has a really cool glow when it's turned on and has the illusion of flames. I'm going to use those pieces of cardboard we cut out earlier to make a box around it, so it looks like it's a part of the room. On one of the pieces of cardboard, I trace the sides of the lantern so I can draw a rectangle to cut out. Cut 2 more pieces of cardboard to go on the sides. Glue them together to make a box. Glue it on top of a square of cardboard. Cover it with the stone printable. I covered all 4 sides, giving us the option to use it as a room divider. Take the lantern, turn it on, place it in the top to make a fireplace for the room. Cut, stack, and glue together thin pieces of cardboard. Cover it with scraps of paper. Glue it right above the fire to make a mantel. Glue picture hooks onto the door for handles. Take the leftover cardboard from the trifold, cover it with paper to make a floor. Completing our fold-up ski lodge with a Five Below fireplace that we can move around the room and place on whatever wall we like. I love having options. Now we can use a few things from previous videos to make it comfy, like our sectional sofa. We can turn it around and have it face the fireplace. Add a small rectangle of faux fur for a blanket, a few throw pillows, cut fabric for a rug, add a dollar store coffee table, a printable book or 2, and a cup of hot cocoa, creating a miniature ski lodge scene. This is a pretty large space. You can have a lot of fun decorating it over and over again. Plus, it's kind of nice that everything can be moved around. And the walls fold down for easy storage. We have a door that can open and a fireplace that glows. I think I like the fireplace best when it's in the center of the room. I moved things around a little bit, used a smaller couch. I was able to add our table from our Versus remint and a little tree in the background. This is such a cute little festive look. On the first day of crafting, my froggy stuff made me a ski lodge that folds down. On the second day of crafting, my froggy stuff made me a fireplace that glows and a ski lodge that folds down. That's all I got for now. But thank you for joining us while we did a little crafting. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell and follow us on Instagram at My Froggy Stuff and the Frog Vlog. And you're done. Happy crafting! 'Cause all I wanna do is spend this holiday with you. Now that we have our ski lodge, let's add to it. We asked all of you on our social media, what should we add? And the number 1 response was skis, which makes sense since it's a ski lodge. So that's what we're gonna do. We are using giant craft sticks that we bought at Walmart. There are 45 in a pack. Each one is 1 1/4 inch by 10 inches, and it only takes 1 to make 2 skis. I start by taking a ruler and draw a line directly down the center for the two skis. Near the top, let's make a rounded curve. Kinda pointy, but not. Repeat on the other one. At the bottom, draw a line going straight across, then round the ends. Just a little. I'm using an X-Acto knife to cut down that center line. And I might have to go over this a few times. So you very carefully go down the line, then again and again if needed. And there we go. We got it. Now I have to get close to these curve lines. And I'm just gonna cut off as much as I can. I got close to the line, but didn't cross it. At the top and the bottom. Use a nail file to get the rest of the wood. I am taking my time and sanding right up to that line, but you don't want to go over it because then your skis are going to be a little lopsided or a little wonky. So take your time and sand. Sand the bottom. I want to take in the sides just a little. Use the file to sand to the line. It's a very slight little indentation here, but when compared to the other one, I can see it. Repeat to make two. I want to curve the tip up just a little, so let's take a cup of hot water, place the tip in the water, let it sit there for a few minutes. Since we're waiting, might as well do both at the same time. And I'm adding a little pressure by pushing on the side of the cup. Take them out of the water, and they're pretty soft, so I'm going to very carefully bend this just at the tip. I don't need a huge bend, a slight one will do. Let them dry completely, then let's paint. I'm using an acrylic paint to paint the top blue. Let's add a little pink right under that blue. It should mesh pretty well. Ooh, it's like an ombre. Then add more of the bright pink to the end. Allow them to dry. While waiting, I painted a few more. How about a solid color? Gotta throw in some pink. How about green on the top and black on the bottom? Once the first coat dries, we can add to it by adding little stripes, dots, and letters to make a variety of different skis. Take 2 bamboo skewers, cut them to 7.5 inches, file the rough edges, and file the pointed end down just a little. Use a circle hole punch to punch holes out of paperboard. Make a small hole in the center so you can place it on the bamboo skewer. Use hot glue to secure it. Paint it, let it dry, then paint the end black. Make 2 to make ski poles, and we can glue a little elastic onto the handle so the dolls can hold it. Now we can't have all this stuff just laying around, so let's build a stand. Using 3 giant craft sticks and 2 jumbo craft sticks. Start by drawing a line down the center of all of the giant craft sticks. Cut on the line drawn. Repeat to cut them all. Sand any rough edges smooth. Take one and measure 6 inches. Cut on the lines drawn. Repeat to make 5. Take the last one, cut it in half. Sand the ends round on both of them. Take the jumbo craft sticks and cut off one end. Glue them to the center of the rounded pieces. Take one of the 6-inch boards and glue it in between the 2 jumbo craft sticks. Glue 2 more right on the sides, creating a small little box. Take another one and glue it across the top. But before I glue it, I use a ruler to draw a line every inch. Take a leftover piece, cut it into 1/2-inch pieces, glue them onto the lines drawn, then glue it at the top, then glue the last 6-inch piece on the front. To make a rack to hold the skis, line up 3 jumbo craft sticks, take another one and cut off the rounded ends, then cut it in half, glue them going across, and I chose to go ahead and cut off the ends and sand them. Flip it over, take a wooden dowel, cut 2 3-inch pieces, glue them to the back corners, cut 2 1.5-inch pieces, glue them to the 2 corners in the front, glue a few coffee stirrers going across the back, and 2 on the sides. Take another wooden dowel and glue it right in the middle. Carefully paint everything except for the seat. I'm using black, then silver. To make an old-fashioned ski lift. We can make it look like it's moving by holding it at the top. Place a doll on the seat, and they're ready to go to the top of the mountain. Oh wait, she forgot her skis. I'm using poster putty, and I'm using a generous amount on the bottom of our doll shoes. Then stick the shoe to the ski to attach the skis to the bottom of their feet. And they stay in place. Look at that, it's pretty good. Using the putty allows us to use whatever shoe we like without damaging them. And now she's ready to hit the slopes. Whee! Let's put the ski rack right outside our ski lodge and cue the song. On the 6th day of crafting, my froggy stuff made me an old-fashioned ski lift and 5 pairs of skis, 4 ski poles, a wooden ski rack, a fireplace that glows, and a ski lodge that folds up. And you all said that our ski lodge needed a larger tree, so we're using the one we made in our YouTube live. We can put that right in the corner. I found this garland wire at Target, and I just bent it into a circle, glue on some mini bulbs, and hang it above the fireplace. I take these tiny little brush trees we found at Target, cut the wires, glue them back onto the base, to make mini decorative trees for the mantel. Let's take this fur off the couch and place it on the floor right in front of the fireplace. Cut a piece of red knit fabric, lay it over the couch for a throw. Then let's spruce up those pillows a little. I got this wine bag from Target. It was $3. Using Post-it notes as a pattern to sew a few pillows. On a Post-it note, draw the shape of a stocking, use it on the leftover fabric, use chalk to draw around it, then sew on the inner line, trim off the excess, flip it inside out, fold in the top, add ribbon around the top to make a stocking to hang on the mantel. I would like to add something to the wall, but it has to be flat because this room still needs to fold down. So I'm taking one of my holiday cards, so I trim it down to the size that I want, take leftover wood that we used to make the room, and paint it gold, cut it to go around the card, use drops of hot glue to add a little texture, touch it up with a little paint to make a frame to hang on the wall. I'm cutting these pom-poms off of the wine bag to use as fluffy pillows. Put some skis in the back corner, and there was one more thing someone suggested. Oh yeah, place a dog by the fireplace to complete our ski lodge just in time for the holidays. Thank you for joining us for this wintertime craft. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell and follow us on Instagram at My Froggy Stuff and the Frog Vlog. And you're done. Happy crafting!
Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sanctuary.
Merry Christmas! We hope you all had a fabulous Christmas morning, opening lots of presents and getting boxes. Today we are going to do our last Christmas craft for 2019 using gift boxes. Our gift box comes with 2 sides, so we get to make 2 different scenes. Let's make the first one an easy one. Start by taking 1/2 of a gift box, find scrapbook paper with a winter scene, recycled cardboard, and white paper. Measure the sides of the box. This one is 4 inches deep and 19 inches long. Use those measurements to draw rectangles on recycled cardboard. Cut on the lines drawn. I cut 2 for the top and bottom, then cut 2 for the sides, and these are 14 inches long. Cover them with white paper. I'm using a glue stick, and I'm pretty generous with the glue. Flip it over, trim the corners to make tabs that we can fold over and glue down. Glue the covered cardboard into the box to make the box stronger. Take the scrapbook paper and glue it into the box. I have 3 pieces of the same print, so I glue one in the middle. I cut the sled off of the other 2 and glue them onto the sides. I do have a few seams here, so I take a scrapbook paper that looks like the bark of a birch tree, cut it into 4-inch pieces, roll them around a wooden dowel, using glue to secure the ends. Remove the wooden dowel to make a paper tube, then glue it onto the wall to cover the seam. The color is off just a little, but maybe if we add a few more birch trees, it'll all just blend in. My scrapbook paper wasn't long enough to cover the entire back of the box, so we have a little space right here. I'm just going to use a little bit of white paper to clean up the bottom. Add a few more trees. This one is off the wall to create some dimension. And it allows us to place the dolls behind the trees. Take some fluff and let's just glue that into the bottom of the box. I added 2 more on the sides to frame it out. This is a very easy backdrop where we can take some great wintertime photos. For a little something extra, take a piece of white paper, roll it around a wooden dowel, use glue to secure the end, add more pieces of paper to make it thicker. I'm going to cut this down to size just a little. Cut a small piece of cardboard, cut red paper into thin strips, glue it going around the paper tube. Take a large red bead and gold buttons, glue a button onto the end of the paper tube, add another button, then the bead, add a rounded button on the end to close the other side of the bead, glue the end of the paper tube onto the cardboard, cut a rectangle of recycled paperboard, stack and glue several together, take acrylic paint, paint the paperboard green, allow it to dry, sketch out a design with a pencil, go over it with white paint, glue it onto the paper tube, place it in the box to make the North Pole. Now let's make something using the other side of the box. Cut more cardboard to fit inside the box. I cover the one for the floor with a brown wood grain scrapbook paper. I used a light colored wood for the ceiling and another wood grain on the walls. Cover the back of the box to match the walls. Glue the covered cardboard into the box to make the basic room. Cut leftover cardboard into small rectangles. Cover with paper. Glue them onto the ceiling to make rafters. Take leftover cardboard, place the box on top, trace around it, remove the box, then add a roof to the drawing. Draw a line on the inside of the box. Cut on the lines drawn to make a partial frame. Cover with scrapbook paper. Go around the edges with thin strips of paper to make a frame for the outside of the box. But before we glue this in place, measure and cut leftover cardboard, cover it with paper, glue several pieces together. I have 2 rectangular blocks on the sides, a top, add a small piece right here, glue it into the box, glue small pieces on front, glue on small bells to make a workstation. Take the leftover scrapbook paper from our outdoor scene, cut it down, and glue it onto the wall. Cut some recycled plastic from a holiday gift, glue it over the picture, glue covered cardboard around it, to make a window. Glue covered cardboard into the corners for shelves. Take a covered rectangle, glue a few rectangles on the front, glue it into the corner, add a triangle on top, add a few more triangles right above it, add a few bells to make a corner shelving unit. Now we can glue on the front, glue on covered cardboard for baseboards. Let's add some matching paper to the corner and strips of cardboard to add a little more detail to our corner storage unit. Our 2019 holiday card is available on our blog, myfroggystuff.blogspot.com. I'm gonna cut these out, fold over the bottom, fold over the sides, add a little glue to make the sides stick, then fold over the top to make a mini envelope. Cut out the card, fold it in half, apply glue on the inside, press down firmly, then fold it in half on the line to make a little card with a message from us that can fit inside of the envelope. Make several and place them on the corner shelf. Take leftover wrapping paper from presents, roll it around a wooden dowel, secure the end with glue to make a miniature roll of wrapping paper. We also have printable wrapping paper on our blog. Wrap cardboard or foam to look like presents. Use buttons for small toys. I found this miniature snow globe on clearance at the craft store. We found these miniature tools at Michael's. And this miniature clock. I'm gonna glue it right here on the wall. Cut craft sticks and glue them together to make a little house. Place a tool right next to it, and we can add a small bucket of paint from our paint splatter room, so it looks like someone has been making toys. I found more printable letters from our holiday crafts from last year. We're gonna set this right on the side. I want it to look like they're overflowing with mail. Add our elf on a shelf from previous videos. They are posable so you can move them all around. Add one of our paper tube chairs, a Christmas tree, add a wreath above the window, cut a long strip of construction paper, write names going all the way down, roll the top, then let the rest fall down to the floor. Run some miniature lights across the top. I'm using a necklace that's no longer working to make a little Santa's workshop. We've got a tree, we've got elves, we have a list for who's naughty and who's nice, toys being made, toys being wrapped, and of course an area for all of Santa's mail, giving us a cute little display from our recycled gift boxes. I like how the scene in the window is the same as our outdoor scene, so it looks like we can go outside in the snow, then inside of Santa's workshop. Thank you for joining us for our last Christmas craft of 2019, and we hope you all have or had a Merry Christmas. Bye! To set up a giant winter scene so we can take some really fun pics. When I was at Target the other day, the main thing they had was a bunch of trees, which gave me the idea to make a winter scene. So I picked up a few, then a few more, and a few more. Okay, wow, that's a lot of trees. When we're making a scene, diorama, or a set, we have to start with the background. Michael's has sky posters. They are really light, so they will make the perfect snowy sky. Together, they span almost the whole length of my table. I'm going to put them on the walls using a little Insta-Tacky or poster putty. This stuff is reusable, and it should come off the walls without leaving a mark. I say should because I had one situation where it actually pulled the paint off my wall. Wasn't really happy about that, but it only happened one time. Place it on the back corners of the poster, then attach it to the wall. We have a center seam, which I am not loving, but perhaps we can cover that later. This is Village Snow Roll. It feels pretty much like pillow fluff, but it does roll out into a nice long sheet. Right now, I'm thinking more clouds than snow. I think we need a few hills here and there. Take a box, place it underneath the snow, add more snow to make our background. Take the trees, place them on the snow, covering up the base. There is a lot of white here, so the more trees we can add, the better. I start by filling in the back. I want to keep the center kind of clear because that's where I will mainly place my dolls for taking photos. So I'm placing the trees in a semicircle around that space. But we need a couple near the front to interrupt the scene. I just make a little hole in the snow to plant my tree. It's like the best way to garden. Let's add a few smaller trees. And let's try one with a different type of branch for a little variety. I found this windmill at Michael's. It's totally the wrong scale, but if we put it in the back of the scene, it might look like it's very far away, giving the illusion that our set is bigger than it is. I'm going to add some smaller trees around the windmill to try and sell the illusion. With a scene like this, we're looking for interesting angles, like little pathways through the trees, or maybe an area that's kind of congested, so it looks like there's a lot going on in the scene. Remove the tree in the front so we can add larger items like this sleigh. I picked up a knit stocking from Five Below. This cost $4. I place my doll inside of the stocking, then put them in the sleigh. Add some pillows to the back so they're nice and comfy, so it looks like our doll is on a sleigh ride. Add 2 dolls and leather cording so it looks like there is a horse or a reindeer pulling the sleigh. And of course, we can always place a model horse right in front to give the full effect. When I take a photo, I like to have a little something interrupting the scene. So I take one of the trees and then just put it close to the camera, and it'll look kind of blurred while everything behind it is focused. And now it looks like they're riding between the trees. We can use the indoor snowballs we found at Target to make it look like we're building a miniature snowman. The balancing does take a little bit of work, but we got it. If we need our snowman to be taller, just add a box underneath the snow, then build the snowman on top of the box. The box will give our figure something to lean against so they can stand for the photo. Add a couple of twigs. I painted sewing pins black so I can use them for eyes, a mouth, and a few buttons down the front. I'm fresh out of carrots, so I'm using an orange push pin for a nose to make our cute little snowman. However, there's a lot of white here, and sometimes that can get lost in the photos. So when I'm dealing with things that have a lot of bright colors or white and they just look kind of muted, you have to cast a shadow. See, so I'm using my hand to cast a shadow on the side of the snowman, which makes him a lot more visible. A lot of times I'll just use a plain piece of white paper to block some of my lights, and that really helps out. Speaking of lights, if I would like to change this to a winter night scene, then I switch out the blue sky with this galaxy print from Michael's to go from day to night. This is a really fun background. There's a lot we can do with it, and it's pretty simple to make. All of our trees came from Target, our snow came from Michael's. You could also use a white blanket or pillow fluff. And when we're finished with our scene, we'll store everything in a large plastic container. And if we place a window in front of it, it makes a great view. Thank you for joining us while we set up our winter scene. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell and follow us on Instagram at My Froggy Stuff and the Frog Vlog.
And you're done.
Happy crafting!
Under the mistletoe, we're Santa's little helpers. When we make all the toys, the trinkets for the girls and the trucks for the boys. We're Santa's little helpers, and we know every trick, 'cause we wrote the book on old Saint Nick.
Here is a fun way to display your collectibles during the holidays. I picked up this lantern at Kirkland's. Many craft stores have these decorative lanterns. I saw a few at Michael's and even at Marshall's. I picked this one because it is very tall and it doesn't have any glass, so it will be very easy for us to maneuver around inside. Just have to remove this. It's a glass cylinder because this is supposed to be used with the candle. However, that's not what we're using it for. The opening on this lantern is a little under 14 inches, so our collectible figures can stand inside. However, it took me a minute to find one this tall. If you decide to go with a shorter one, then you can always have your models sit rather than stand. Ours has this circle base inside. It's not coming off. Oh wait, I think it might. There is a bolt on the bottom, so let's just use some tools and we can remove the little dish, plate, cylinder, tray thing. This looks like it could totally be used as a gazebo, but I'm just going to use it to make a small, very small mini scene. So I measure the inside and cut scrapbook paper to fit inside. I am not going to glue that down just in case I want to change it later. But I am going to take the scrapbook paper and glue it to a piece of cardboard, cut it out, giving us a surface that we can glue things to if we want. And I don't have to worry about my paper moving around. I need to make a small hole in the floor that lines up with the hole in the lantern. Use a pencil to mark it from underneath. Then carefully make a small hole in the cardboard. Take battery-operated LED lights, run them through the hole in the bottom of the lantern and through the floor. Tape it underneath, leaving the switch facing out, so we can turn the lights on and off. I decided to go with 2 sets of lights so our scene is well lit. I take the tree that we got at Five Below for $3 and glue it onto the floor right next to the lights. I'm using hot glue and I'm careful not to glue the wires. Begin wrapping the lights around the tree. I'm going to turn them on so I can get a better view of where I'm placing the lights. I'm trying to place them as even as possible going around this tree. There we go. Take felt, cut out a circle, cut out the middle, cut through to the center, glue on ribbon, place it around the bottom of the tree for a tree skirt. Let's add some garland. We got this at Michael's. I thought I was gonna need 2, but it looks like 1 is enough. Now it's time for the bulbs. First, I have to tie on the strings. Then we can hang each one on the tree. I don't want a lot of string hanging down, so I'm just tucking it into the tree. Decorating a miniature tree is just like decorating a large tree. It's pretty time consuming. And we can't skimp on the back of the tree. We have to decorate there too. Use buttons for ornaments to make a very festive tree. Take mini presents, pile a few in the back corner, take smaller ones, and we're just gonna add those right on top. I try to make sure my colors are alternating to add a little variety to the space. So now we have our tree. It's been decorated. We have lots of presents around the bottom, so all that's left is to add our dolls. Dress them up in their favorite holiday sweater, place a bulb on one hand, position them next to the tree without knocking everything over to make it look like the doll is decorating the tree. It almost feels like you're looking through a window into a mini world. everything is inside of the lantern, so it's completely portable. We can place it on our fireplace, coffee table, or wherever we like. Have fun turning it around for different angles, so there's lots of opportunity to get some great photos. Change it around daily, having the doll do different things for a doll version of Elf on the Shelf. And if the doll gets tired of standing, we can always place a chair in the room so they can sit down next to the tree, enjoy the atmosphere, and have a nice cup of hot cocoa. I love that this craft allows our dolls to become a part of our holiday decorations. However you choose to set it up, we hope you have as much fun as we did making your own decorated lantern. Thank you for joining us while we decorated our lantern and created a fabulous doll display. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell and follow us on Instagram at My Froggy Stuff and the Frog Vlog. And you're done.
Happy crafting!
Gone, baby. The first snow is about to fall. Everybody's waiting for what's to come. We gather round the chimney, sitting close to keep us warm. The mistletoe is hanging at the door.
Boy, it is freezing outside, which means we need to make a miniature coat. I've been working on this pattern for a long winter coat, and I will make my pattern available on our blog, myfroggystuff.blogspot.com. Now keep in mind, these are homemade patterns, so some imperfections may and do exist. To make my coat, I'm using a faux suede. It has 0 stretch. Start by cutting out the pattern. It has a total of 7 pieces, some of which are cut twice, like the sleeve, the front of the coat, the pockets, and the optional cuff, and the interfacing. Place them onto the fabric. My fabric is folded over. I use pins to secure it. Carefully cut it out, cutting through both layers of the material, so I get 2. And they will be mirror images of each other. Cut out the back. We only need 1 of those. The sleeve has to be cut on a fold so that when you open it up, you get the, if I can open it, you get the full size of the sleeve. Cut 2. So there's the front, the back, and the 2 sleeves. Cut 2 of the interfacing. These will go in the front. Oh, wait, it has to be reverse. Like that. And like that. We cut 2 of the optional cuffs. This is if you need to make sure the arms are longer. However, if you have a shorter doll, then you might want to leave the cuff off. This is the collar and 2 pockets. Now that we have all of our pieces, we can begin to sew, starting with the pockets. This fabric doesn't unravel, so I'm not going to worry about folding over the edge of everything. However, if your fabric does fray, you're going to need to add a seam allowance, then fold over the top and sew a straight line across. Since mine doesn't fray, I'm just going to sew a straight line across. Repeat for the other pocket. Let's set these off to the side. Place the pockets onto the front of the coat with the sewn edge facing the top. Carefully place a doll on the coat, trying to line it up at the shoulders, and I just want to make sure the hand will fit inside the pocket. Use a pin to hold it in place. Line up the second pocket so they are parallel. Sew down one side, across the bottom, and up the other side, leaving the top open. Trim off the excess thread and repeat for the other pocket. Now that both pockets are sewn on, it's time to attach the sleeves. Line them up, flip the sleeve over, lining up those raw edges. Sew a straight line going across. So when I flip it over, they're sewn together. Repeat for the other arm, so we have both sleeves attached to both fronts. Take the back of the coat, match it up with one of the sleeves on the other side, flip it over, lining up the raw edge. The raw edge of the sleeve is lined up with the raw edge of the back of the coat. Sew a straight line, to attach the back of the coat. Take the other side, flip the sleeve and the front over, lining up the raw edge. Sew a straight line going across to attach the other side. Now it kind of makes a star. Take the collar, fold it in half so the good side is on the inside. This is the folded edge. Here we have the raw edges. On the raw edge, I'm going to go over about 1/4 of an inch, then angle all the way to the corner using my sewing machine. Repeat for the other side, flip it inside out, taking care to push out the corners. Find the center of the coat by folding the back in half, make a little crease. Find the center of the collar by folding it in half, make a crease. Line up the centers on the raw edges. We have to pull this part of the jacket over so that it makes a straight line. Use pins to secure it. And this is probably the trickiest part of the whole coat, because after we pin down the collar, take the interfacing, which are these little weird shape pieces, match them up with the raw edge on the front panel so that good side is facing good side. See? Good side to good side. You'll see that the top of the coat goes out at an angle a little. That will all become a part of the lapel. But this little piece here needs to match up with the collar and the top of the coat. So I carefully remove the pin and then put it back in, but this time attaching to the interfacing. It is pretty thick through here. We have a lot of layers. Repeat for the other side, so it should look like this. And we're using pins to hold everything in place. Now starting at the bottom, right here in this corner, sew a straight line going across, then go up to the top of the coat, around the collar, come down the other side, and back across, using a straight stitch. Before I remove the pins, double check that everything was caught in the machine. I want to make sure everything was sewn and I don't have any little gaps. I'm good, so now I can remove my pins. If you wish to attach cuffs, now is the time to do it. Take the fabric, fold it in half so the good side is on the outside, line up the raw edges, and sew a line going straight across to attach the cuff. Or we can just take it, flip it over so the good side's facing down, fold it over, and sew a straight line across the top. To hem it, repeat for the other side. Once both sleeves have been hemmed, fold the whole thing in half, lining up the edges of the sleeve and the sides of the coat. I flipped it over so the front is facing up. Use pins to secure it. Then sew a straight line from the hem on the arm all the way down to the bottom. Repeat for the other side. Once it's all been sewn, flip it right side out, push out the sleeves, flip over the interfacing, fold up the bottom edge, sew a straight line going all the way across to hem it, then follow all the way around the edge of the coat, going up the front to the lapel, around the collar, and then all the way back down. To top stitch it so everything lays flat. Fold back and iron the lapel. Add a faux button to the front for a little extra detail. If you want it to really close, just sew a hook behind the button and a loop of thread on the other side. Then just slide the hook through the thread to close the coat. And now we have miniature coats for the winter. I sewed this one with the cuffs. It makes the sleeves longer, so it's long enough for dolls with longer arms like Integrity Toys. The one without the cuffs is a better match for signature Barbies. This coat looks great with our sweatsuits. Just place the hood over the back of the collar and you're good to go. And this coat is pretty long, so yeah, they're gonna be nice and toasty. Thank you for joining us while we made a miniature coat. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell and follow us on Instagram at My Froggy Stuff and the Frog Vlog. And you're done.
Happy crafting!
Let's make some holiday PJs for our dolls. I found these leggings at Walmart for $3.88. I really like the print and it's like a stretchy t-shirt material, so this should be fun to work with. I've got a few other t-shirts in complementing colors. To make the pattern, I am going to use my Froggy Fresh doll. What's up? I measure from her waist to the bottom of her jeans, which is 6.5 inches. Then let's add another inch for a seam allowance. That is 7.5 inches. Measure 1/2 of the widest part of the doll. For me, that's about 3.25. So let's add another inch for a little seam allowance, which is 4.25 inches. Draw a casing at the top, a hem at the bottom. Using my doll's jeans as a guide, I sketch a J shape on the sides, then continue the line through the hem. I don't want the legs to be this wide, so let's just take it in a little. Cut it out to make a pattern. Lay out the fabric, place the pattern on top, trace around it with chalk, cut it out. Repeat for the other leg, only this time flip the pattern over before tracing, so you get 2 mirror pieces. If you look closely, one side has a deeper J shape than the other. The back will be deeper, the front will be more shallow. On the front, turn the fabric good side to good side and sew a straight line along the curve. Open it up, fold over the top for the casing, iron it to make a crease, and remember to always have adult supervision when crafting. I bought 1/8 of an inch elastic, place it on the inside of the crease, lay the fabric over it, sew a straight line next to the elastic. I take my time here, pushing the elastic to the edge with my fingers before sewing to make sure I don't catch it. While holding one side, pull the elastic from the other end, sliding the material down to gather. Match up the ends, sew a straight stitch through the elastic and along the curve. Trim off the excess to make an elastic waistband for our pants. Fold over and hem the bottom. From the bottom of the pants, open it up and lay it flat to see 2 pant legs. Sew across the raw edge. I go back and finish the edge with a zigzag stitch. Turn it inside out to make a comfy pair of pajama pants. Since we have a pattern, we can make more for all of our dolls. And so our guys don't feel left out, we made a pattern so they can have some PJs too. Now let's make a top. Using my Fresh Doll t-shirt as a guide, trace around it to mark the sides, shoulder, and the collar. Extend the bottom, draw the arms to meet the collar, sketch a sleeve out to the side, add a seam allowance, cut it out to make the pattern. Place the body on t-shirt material, trace around it, cut out 2, fold one over to cut it in half, cut 2 sleeves on the fold, cut a piece of the collar to use as our doll collar. With the good sides facing up, line up the front of the shirt and the sleeves. Fold the sleeve over, making sure the edges stay aligned. Sew a straight line going across. To attach one side of the sleeve, take one of the back pieces, line it up with the other side of the sleeve, and sew straight across. So the whole sleeve is attached. Take the other sleeve and repeat on the other side. Now we can attach the collar. With the good side of the shirt facing up, line up the raw edges and sew a straight line across the top. Once sewn, flip it over the edge, sew a top stitch near the seam, fold over and hem the sleeves, fold the whole thing over, lining up the raw edges, sew from the sleeve to the bottom of the shirt, and now it is starting to look like a t-shirt. Fold over and hem the bottom, Cut Velcro to fit along the back. Pull the two sides apart. Flip the shirt inside out. Sew one half of the Velcro onto the raw edge of one side of the shirt. On the other side of the shirt, fold it over and sew on the opposite piece of Velcro to make a baseball tee to go with our pajama pants. We can use the same material as the pants to make the shirt for a coordinated look. And of course, we made a pattern for the guys as well. If you've got leftover fabric, cut out rectangles, lay them good side to good side, sew around the edge, leaving an opening so it can be turned inside out. Stitch it closed to make a throw. Cut a smaller one, sew and flip, add fluff, sew it closed to make a matching pillow. Our fresh doll pattern fits classic Barbies and curvies. I will make our pattern available on our blog, myfroggystuff.blogspot.com. Thank you for joining us while we made some holiday PJs for our dolls. Look for the Froggy Fresh doll at Walmart and thefreshdolls.com. Don't forget to ring the bell and follow us on Instagram at My Froggy Stuff and the Frog Vlog. And you're done.
Happy crafting!
Oh, Christmas tree, your candles shine so brightly. Oh, Christmas tree, your candles shine so brightly. For every year, the Christmas tree brings to us all both joy and glee. Oh, Christmas tree.
We want to give a shout out to Barbie Fashionista Dolls. What's up? Got my jammies on, got my show on, time to get my chill on. What's up, Froggy? Sophie, where'd you come from?
Hey, Froggy.
Chloe?
Yeah, we were talking it over and we need a new room.
Together this time. I was about to watch my show.
It's on Netflix.
You can watch it later. Thank you for joining us for this My Froggy Stuff Holiday Mashup 2020. Let us know which one was your favorite in the comments down below. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell and follow us on Instagram at My Froggy Stuff and the Frog Vlog. And we will see you next time. Bye! Happy holidays!